You're seeing right now. I better double check.
We see your slides. Lovely, lovely. So, good morning, everyone. It is our last webinar from the State Library of 2023. So, our best for a wonderful end to the year and start to a new year. Whatever holiday or end of season programming you have going on, our best wishes for it. So I am Samantha Bowers, consultant for continuing education at the State Library of Iowa. You guys probably know me by now, and you know Janeé, of course, who's here today to talk about the best books here at the end of 2023 and our monthly series, Check It Out. So Janeé, I will turn it over to you. Thank you, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. I hope you're having a great Tuesday and you have a pen and paper handy and a lovely drink with you. I have my lovely water. Welcome to Check It Out this morning. We've got some fun stuff ahead of you, so we're going to get started. And once I click my button there we go. For those of you that don't know me, welcome. My name is Janeé Jackson-Doering. I'm the Youth Services Consultant with the State Library of Iowa. On that screen is my contact information. So there's my phone number and there's my email address. Feel free to email me with any youth-related questions, concerns. I've had questions from everything from how do I label my children or teen collection to, hey, can you come take a peek at my youth and teen programming? Please feel free to reach out. I love to do library visits, and a lot of people that know me, they know I'd love to bring goodie bags of books with me for you to keep. So please reach out to me for any youth-related questions. And I put a picture of something that brings me joy this month. And this month is my beautiful cat, Aslan. Yes, his name is Aslan. He's 18 and a half years old. My little guy got sick this month. He had appendicitis. So he's been bringing us a lot of joy this month. We had to really take care of him. We got him some medicine, and now he is back to his wonderful ornery self. But he has brought us so much joy. So he is my joy. So that's my joy of the month picture is our furry, beautiful cat, Aslan. And I hope you find something that brings you joy this month and every month. And, oh, I see the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Um, so our table of contents today, what do we got going on? We have story time standouts, and story time standouts are the best books to use for story time. We'll cover early readers. This is going to be a different kind of segment this month because there's so much to cover. And I'm in within an hour. It's a lot. We're going to look at picture books and board book roundup, teen and children's nonfiction, middle grade fiction, teen fiction, graphic novels and manga, and giveaways, books to check out in 2024 and upcoming events. But the books to check out in 2024 might be moved up a bit. So bear with me. And here we go. Okay. And I'm going to pull my chat. I have my chat box up, but I'm going to move this down and move this part up so that way I can see better. So our first item is Storytime Standouts. So these are the best books to use for story time, and these are books I found for this month. And our first selection is Bing, Bang, Chugga, Beep. Try saying that 3 times in a tongue twister. This is written by Bill Martin Jr. and Michael Sampson. This is also illustrated by Nathalie Beauveau. And this is sang to the tune of This Old Man. This is a rhyming gem. And this book has kids viewing colorful illustrations, and they're following this car. The car wakes up the neighbors, goes up the hill, flies in the air, plays in the mud, does tricks jumping over bricks, and more. But each part of the story starts out on this page, like at the very bottom of your page. It starts out with this stanza. This old car, it is blue, yellow, red, and purple too, with the bing, bang, chug a beep bouncing here and there. This old car goes everywhere. So it is sang literally to the tune of This Old Man. So you see the car doing all these fun things throughout its day. And at the end of the story, the readers realize that the old car that you think is just driving around and doing all these tasks, you think it's a real car, but what it turns out to be, it's Charlie the toy car. And you see a child holding the toy car at the end of the story. The back pages of the story ask children what's their favorite toy car to play with. And it shows all kinds of toy cars as well. Super cute. This would be great for a car themed story time. And then maybe for a craft afterwards, kids can make their own car out of construction, big, huge boxes with construction paper. But this would be a great story time addition to your story time collection. Brianna says, this is one of my favorite picture books of 2023. I love it. We're thinking the same language. I love it. Our next book is called 10 Little Bulldozers. This is written by Amanda Sobotka and illustrated by James Newman Gray. So this is kind of a smaller book, I'd say about maybe yay size, maybe about that big. But it's a counting book. And it says for the first stanza, 10 little bulldozers rumbling in a line. Along came a crane, and then there were 9. So it's a counting book that counts down from 10 to 1. And the cool thing about this book, it has these little plastic 3D bulldozers that stick out in the book that kids can touch. So it's kind of a sensory book. And readers will see the bulldozers help the construction workers stack bricks. They roar with their engines. They push loads of weight, and they put in a hard day's work on the construction site. So you could pair this book with for a construction themed story time. You could have different types of construction themed books to pair with it. But it's a short and sweet counting book, and it's good for that toddler, early preschool age. Looks like Jessica says, my son, who's 4, is obsessed with construction and loves this book. I love it. Amy has a question. She says, is that a board book or more of a picture book with paper pages? Great question. This is more of a board book. So that is a wonderful question. Okay. Thank you, Amy. We're going to move to early readers, and I have a twofer for you today from the same author. This is the Big Bub series, and this is they're both written by Alistair Heim and illustrated by, I don't know how to put by Aaron Bletcha. The first book in the series is called Big Bub Small Tub. And Big Bub, for those of you that don't know, is this purple, furry kind of just monster bub. And let's just face it, Big Bub lives to his name. Big Bub is just too big. And in the book, Big Bub Small Tub, Big Bub needs to take a bath, but the bathtub that he wants to take a bath in is too small. And he tries everything to fit inside the tub. Same thing with Big Bub's small car. In that story, Big Bub needs to purchase a gift for his friend for their birthday party, but he can't fit into the car. So he tries everything. He tries to take a cab, but he breaks the back end of the cab. He tries to take a bus, but the bus doesn't even stop to pick him up. So what does Big Bub do? He goes to the junkyard and finds 2 used bumper cars, puts them on his feet, and he skates to the gift shop to get the gift and go to the friend's birthday party. I loved this book series because it has repetition in the text. The illustrations are bright, colorful. You can tell what's going on in each picture. But the really cool thing I like about this series is that it has, in the beginning of the book, it has lists of sight words and word families. Now, what do I mean by word families? So if children are learning the concept of AST, AST, what words have that word family AST at the end. Fast, cast, mast. So they're learning different types of word families, or uck. What words have that word family of uck, like stuck, truck? Those types of word combinations are word families. So parents and caregivers can see the word families associated with the stories. So that way they can learn to sound out the words. And there's discussion questions at the end of the story to help children understand what they're reading from the text. This is a great beginning reader series of books for your collection. So definitely pick up the Big Bub series. I'm going to move my chat screen so I can move to the next slide. Our next book is called Hornbeam All In. This is written by Cynthia Ryland and illustrated by Arthur Howard. This book received starred reviews in Kirkus, Publishers Weekly, Booklist, and School Library Journal. This is a cute tale, and it has 3 different tales featuring Hornbeam the moose. And this moose is funny. This moose likes to snore. This moose is just kind of a cute, funny moose. But you get to see all of him in these 3 tales. In Eureka and the Picnic, Eureka is a goose, and Eureka invites Hornbeam to their family picnic. Only what Hornbeam doesn't know is that Eureka has 100 geese that are cousins that are coming to this picnic. And Hornbeam, he's kind of go with the flow. He's like, all right, are you gonna have potato salad? That's all Hornbeam wants to know. Are you gonna have potato salad? Because Hornbeam loves potato salad. So he gets to meet all the cousins. In the second tale is, and I'm going to pull that up right here. In Sleeping at Cuddy's house, Hornbeam loves to sleep and snore, but his furnace is broken in his house. So Hornbeam asks if he could spend the night at his friend Cuddy's house. And Cuddy agrees, and they make fudge, they play checkers. But when it's bedtime, Cuddy realizes he can't sleep because Hornbeam is snoring so loud. And Cuddy tries everything to get Hornbeam to stop snoring. The final story is called At the Pool with Adorabelle, and Hornbeam learns to fight his fear of swimming with Adorabelle. The illustrations by Arthur Howard are expressive. They're very nicely done. And Cynthia's storytelling make this a fun pick for one-on-one sharing or reading independently. All right, we are going to move to picture books and board book roundup. And I have a couple selections for you. The first one, this is a board book. This is called Let's Go to Color Camp. And this is illustrated by Nicola Slater. This received a starred review in School Library Journal. And this is an adorable board book because it's asking toddlers and preschoolers to point to items on the page. So for the green page, the spread will say, can you point to all the items that are green? Can you point to all the items that are pink? Lots of colorful illustrations, super fun, super easy to grasp for toddlers and preschoolers. This would be a wonderful addition to a color story time or just your board book collection in general. The next book, this one I really adored. This is a board book. This is called Patrick Yee's A through Z book. This is illustrated by Patrick Yee. And I loved it because it's just bright and it's a colorful alphabet book that is perfect for toddlers and preschoolers. Each spread has the letter and what it stands for. So pretty simple. The 2 pictures that I posted on here illustrate that. So A is for astronaut, and you see the astronaut on top of a planet and the stars. B is for a bus. C is for clarinet. They had some different unique things. So G is for glue, Q is for quarter, T is for towel. I really like the simplicity of this book Um, there were some items that I was just kind of like, oh, that's interesting. Like I for Indri, I didn't know what Indri was, but it's an animal. So I had to look that one up. For those of you that don't know who Patrick Yee is, Patrick Yee is an illustrator from Singapore. Um, this is a wonderful addition to your alphabet collection if you have an ABC bin at your library, or if you have board books in general, this would be a wonderful addition for that set. All right, and our picture book this month is Winter Garden. This is written by Janet Fox and illustrated by Jasu Hugh. This received starred reviews in Publishers Weekly and Kirkus. And this is about a young girl and her mother. Together, they grow and tend an herb garden in the middle of winter. This is a kind of a poetic picture book where the mother is showing the girl the seed packets. She's showing them what kind of seeds are in the packets, and they plant the seeds, and the little girl watches and waits and just wonders what's going to come out of these seeds. And the sprouts, once they do appear, to the little girl, the sprouts appear like magic overnight. The artwork is watercolor, and I love the dreamy feel to it. The illustrations are very warm and just inviting. There's information in the back of the book on how to start your own winter garden and grow a winter garden of your own. This is a quiet book, and it's a very cozy book. So definitely pick up Winter Garden. Okay, we are switching gears and we're moving right along to children and teen nonfiction. And I've got some goodies for you. The first book on my list is Britannica's first big book of Why. And for this, I understand if you're on Baker and Taylor right now, because let me just ask right now, are some of you on Baker and Taylor right now as I'm going through these books? You can answer in the chat. I see yes. Okay, wonderful. If you're on Baker and Taylor, you will see that the copyright is 2021, and that is okay. This book and the second book on my list were recommendations from our very own Samantha Bowers. And Samantha, could you come online if that's okay, or come on screen? And where did she go?
Hey, sorry, I had a visitor swing by and then I saw my favorite book on the screen, so I had to kick her out. This is one of my favorite books that we actually own. I saw it at a conference and I had to get it for my 4-year-old. So this is kid tested, parent approved. But what I love about this book is you can see in the examples here, just that one really big exciting picture per page. These are kind of cartoony, animated. Some of them are actual photographs, which is kind of fun. And then just a nice short paragraph of text. You're not reading like pages on pages on pages about penguins and their lack of flight. It's like, hey, here's one little paragraph about penguins. It also has some really delightful questions for some older young kids, like why do beets make your pee turn pink, which is a page that my 4-year-old loves to read. But like, why do cats purr, why are there black holes, all like, it's just a huge range of things. And so we really do love this book in our house, and I think it's just a fabulous flip througher, really engaging. Yeah.
This title features over 100 questions, and
Yeah.
they're verified and answered by Britannica experts. And this is geared for ages 4 and up. It covers everything from the human body, machines, space, and they have clear, accessible explanations for that curious 4-year-old that asks, why?
I have also been known to send my 4-year-old to the Y book to figure out the answer himself. You go flip through the Y book and tell me if it's not in there, and then we'll figure it out together.
So this would be a perfect STEAM choice for your nonfiction collection. Like Sam said, librarian tested and mother approved. Looks like Denise has a question for you.
What is the size of this book? I don't know, normal sized. I don't know, like, yeah, probably 12 inches tall, 8 inches across. It's pretty hefty. And then, like Janeé said, there's over 100 questions in there, but it's one question per page. It's really fabulous to look at.
So thank you, Sam.
Yeah. Do you have my other favorite in here too?
I do, and it's next.
It's
And I'm like,
next.
it's next.
So
That
this is kind of a companion to it, right? But this one we don't own, but I did love it. It's oh, thanks. Amy
Here
is
we
fact
go.
checking on the size of the Y book. But this one has more visuals in it. Some really great yeah, like you can see the size of the scale of planets on here. It had things like the biggest tree, the widest tree, um, stars, galaxies, animals, bugs, everything. Also a really great one that we have enjoyed having around. This one we do have on loan from the library, and it's been a lot of fun to have, so as well.
This book, this is called the Britannica's Encyclopedia Infographica, and it has over 200 infographics with maps, charts, and timelines. My favorite part, there was a question, how many cups of snot does your body make in a day? I
That
know that
is a really fabulous question. And with a little head cold right now, I'm like, I don't want to know the answer.
other questions it answers, where are the driest places on Earth? How does blood pump through the body? How far away is the moon? I put that illustration there so you guys could see, but this has very awesome eye-catching illustrations and sidebars, tons of information for curious readers and from the young up through elementary, even middle grade. But this would be great. Two Sam approved books that are just for your nonfiction collection. Thank you,
Yes,
Sam.
my nonfiction loving 4-year-old loves these two. Yeah. So
Awesome.
thanks for the opportunity to share about them. I loved these this year.
You are welcome. I wanted to get your input, so thank you. All right. We are going to go to our next book. Our next book, I put this in children or teen, but this is called We Need to Talk About Vaginas, an important book about vulvas, periods, puberty, and sex. This is written by Dr. Allison K. Rogers and illustrated by Anika Lelarge. This received starred reviews in Publishers Weekly, Booklist, School Library Journal, and it was recommended by School Library Connection. This book is a great resource. I read through it, and it's a great resource for those who are needing books about puberty and periods. And for those of you that don't know about Dr. Rogers, she's a gynecologist, a fertility doctor, and a reproductive endocrinologist, and the director of education at fertility centers in Chicago. This book covers everything about the vagina, everything you wanted to know, from body changes, the difference between the vagina and the vulva, your first period, taking care of yourself during your period, what to expect when you visit the gynecologist for the first time, menstrual cramps, how to stop them, and more. It also covers health tips. So, for example, safe sex, sexually transmitted infections, and it also talks about consent. There's a glossary in the back of the book and an index as well in the back of the book. I thought the images were age appropriate. The book is geared for ages 10 to 14. So if you have a tween that's starting their period to a early teen who's just learning about their body and about consent. But this is highly recommended. This would be wonderful for your nonfiction collection. I really liked the illustrations about period care and the different types of period blood, because we all have questions about periods and what is it supposed to do, what it's supposed to look like. I thought this covered everything very, very well and in a very appropriate, easy to understand manner. And let's see, Megan says, yay, I am so glad for this book. That video in schools is great, but not enough. I agree. I totally agree. Our next book, if you have Minecraft fanatics, This is the book you need to pick up and have in your library. This is called the Minecraft Ideas Book, and this is by DK Publishing, and it's written by Thomas McBrien. This book details more than 70 ideas for kids to build worlds within the Minecraft universe. So they can learn tips and hacks, tricks and hacks from expert builders. This book has sidebars of lots of information on building items such as a water park obstacle course. They can learn how to build the Great Wall of China, Hanging Gardens of Babylon, and so much more. This would be a great example of active nonfiction for your collection. And active nonfiction is where kids are learning a skill or a how-to. So this would be a nice addition to your nonfiction section, or if you have a Minecraft section at your library, this would be a great addition. The other thing to point out with this book, it does have a glossary. It has building tips, but it also has a staying safe online section, which is very important because you never know what could happen online, and an introduction for kids. So definitely pick up the Minecraft Ideas book. Okay, we are moving on and switching gears to middle grade. And I just had one standout for this month, and this book is called Once Upon a Time in the North. This is written by Philip Pullman and illustrated by Chris Warmel. This received a starred review in School Library Journal, and we all know Philip Pullman from the book The Golden Compass and his Dark Materials series. And this book is a novella, and it's a prequel to the Dark Materials series. And this is about Lee Scoresby. He's an American balloonist, and he is teamed up with the great armored bear, Yorick Bernson. And bears can talk in this story, which I was like, whoa, this bear can talk. But Lee meets York when Lee and his hare companion, Hester, they crash land in their trading balloon onto a port town. And the port town is Novi Odense. And while he's crashed on this town, Lee hopes to just pick up some work and just basically just make a name for himself. And so they're in the far Arctic North. And since he's crashed upon this town, he finds himself in the middle of a political powder keg. So in this town, there's a political candidate named Polikov who is running on an anti-bear platform. He doesn't want bears in the town, and the bears know that, and they kind of keep their distance. But he hires Lee because he notices that Lee carries a rifle with him, and he hires him to protect a piece of property. But Lee notices that there is a criminal from his past that he recognizes, and Lee knows that he has to keep his guard up from him. This story, it mixes fantasy elements, it mixes adventure, and there's some steampunk in it. It's very fast-paced. I liked how the story moved along, and the cool thing about this book, it has full color illustrations for youth to look at, and the large font helps for easy reading, especially those that have visual images when reading books. So if you're looking for something with a little bit of fantasy, adventure, and steampunk, pick up Once Upon a Time in the North by Philip Pullman. Okay, we are going to move to teen fiction. And if you have fans of Wings of Fire, you definitely want to pick up Wings of Fire, A Guide to the Dragon World. This is written by Twee T. Sutherland. And this is a kind of it is pretty much a guide to the dragon world. When I looked at this, I was like, wow, there was a lot. So fans of the series can learn about the 10 tribes there's different full color maps, full letters, journal entries, and stories from each of the dragon tribes. There's 10 chapters that cover the 10 different dragons. and you learn about the history, the mythology, the folklore of each of the dragons. And I have another Wings of Fire title to add to this collection for today. So definitely, if you have big fans of this series and of the graphic novels, you definitely want to pick up Wings of Fire, A Guide to the Dragon World. And Colleen, you are right. It is very informative. I kind of was like on dragon overload because I was just like, wow. So if you have fantasy readers, give them this. They will be in love. Our next book is called 7 Minutes in Candyland. This is written by Brian Wasson, and this received a starred review in Booklist. And this is about a young man named Calvin. Calvin loves to sell candy. He keeps his prices reasonable at school. It's his candy hustle. He keeps his prices reasonable, his inventory fresh, and he keeps himself out of drama. But he meets heartbroken Sterling Gistern, and it's Cal's longtime crush. And she barges into the storage closet where he keeps his candy supply. And he's seeing this as a new source of income. And so he becomes a relationship therapist because she's sad, she's heartbroken, and he only wants to try to help her. And what makes Calvin so interesting is that he's the he's the child of therapists. His parents are therapists. But he's only meaning to help Sterling realize that she's been dating a jerk. And in the process, he thinks he might be able to win her over. This is a sweet story, just a fun, easygoing romance. It was nice to see Black characters actually in a book where you feel like they're having a relationship, they're actually having a moment just to see Black joy. So definitely pick up 7 Minutes in Candyland by Brian Wasson. Okay, so I had said that there's going to be books I'm checking out in 2024. I thought I was going to put that at the end of my slide deck, but I figured since these are all teen novels, I'm just going to move them up. So this list is my bad boy list of books that I'm going to be checking out in 2024. I have all of these books loaded up on my Kindle because of netgalley.com. If you have not been on netgalley.com, do yourself a favor and sign up because they have all these books on there and I'm so excited to read them. But let me just share a little bit of what's to come this year. The first book on my list is The Reappearance of Rachel Price. And this is written by Holly Jackson. We know Holly Jackson. She wrote The Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and she also wrote 5 Survive. She's got another mystery for us. This is about 18-year-old Belle. She's lived her whole life in the shadow of her mom's mysterious disappearance. So 16 years ago, Rachel Price vanished, and Belle was the only witness, but she has no memory of it. So Rachel's gone, and she's presumed dead, and Belle wishes everybody would just forget about it, just move on. But her case is dragged up from the past when the Price family agrees to a true crime documentary. Belle can't wait for filming to end. She just wants for life to go back to normal, but then Rachel Price reappears. And Belle just doesn't know what to think of this. She doesn't know if this is real, if this is a game, if this woman is lying. So there's a lot of twists and turns in this mystery. And the other thing that I'm seeing, and I was talking about this with a librarian colleague of mine a couple weeks ago, I don't know about you guys, but I'm seeing a lot of true crime elements where there's a documentary or a podcast that characters have to use a podcast to solve a murder mystery. That seems to be like the hot trend for 2023. And I think that's going to continue on, hopefully, into 2024. So definitely grab The Reappearance of Rachel Price. That comes out April 2nd. 4-Letter Word is written by Gretchen McNeil. If you don't know who Gretchen McNeil is, she's fantastic. The book that I really love from Gretchen McNeil is 10. If you've ever read 10, oh my God, 10 is great. Hopefully get a chance, pick up 10 by Gretchen McNeil. That's a wonderful book. And Gretchen has now came up with this book. This is a thriller where Izzy and her family welcome an exchange student into their home. But there's some series of mishaps and there's some coincidences and there's a serial killer on the loose. And Izzy is starting to suspect that the young man that they've welcomed into their home as a foreign exchange student isn't what he seems. I'm really interested to see how this goes because I just love Gretchen. I just love that book. I loved Murder Trending. I love 10. But definitely pick up Four Letter Word. That's going to be released March 5th. This third book that I'm looking forward to is The Black Girl Survives in This One, Horror Stories. This is an anthology set. And the editor is Desiree S. Evans. And in this book has 15 thought-provoking, chilling stories, and it's basically placing Black girls front and center as the heroes and survivors of the stories. And the stories themselves are so cool. From what I've been looking, the girls are slaying monsters, they're battling spirits, and they're facing down death. I'm excited because in horror books and in horror movies, in the 80s and 90s, the first characters to die were the Black characters. And it's been written about in several books. My husband follows this quite a bit. But to see Black girls survive, to see Black girls thrive and be the heroes and survivors, it's refreshing. So I can't wait to delve into this. It's going to be released April 2nd. The next book on the list is called This Book Won't Burn. And this is written by Samira Ahmed. Samira, if you know, she is our 2024 All Iowa Reads author. And this book is going to be released May 7th. This Book Won't Burn. It's about a young woman named Khan. She was living in Chicago, and her parents have decided to move to a small town. She's not thrilled. She's starting her senior year at a new school. And at the school where she's at, she's found hundreds of books that have been labeled pornographic, obscene, and they're being removed from the library in accordance with the new school board policy. And to make matters worse, the books that they're deciding to remove are all queer BIPOC authors. And what do I mean by BIPOC? BIPOC stands for Black, Indigenous, People of Color. So Khan has to decide whether to keep quiet or stand up for what she believes in. This book is about book banning, activism, and standing up for what you believe. I can't wait to read this. It's coming out May 7th. I hope you pick it up for your library. And Megan says, I cannot wait for the Black girls in this one to be released. And I saw another comment too. Where was it? Jessica says, we can't keep Karen M. McManus on the shelves. Well, guess what, Jessica? You're about to not have this one on the shelves too, because people are going to want to check it out. This last book is called Such Charming Liars, and it's written by Karen M. McManus. This will be released July 30th. We all know Karen McManus. She wrote the books, what is it? Oh my goodness. The Cousins. She wrote The Cousins. That was a pretty good book. But she has a great run of mystery novels. In this book, yes, One of Us is Lying. Thank you. I'm like, it just escaped me. Thank you, Jessica. This is a heist novel from McManus, and it's about a mother and daughter, Jamie and her daughter, Kat. Jamie is a robber, and she has taught Kat how to rob. So they're a pair of robbers, but Jamie wants to go legit. she's just like, I'm tired of the life. And they have one last heist job to pull, and it's at a billionaire's birthday party. And while Kat's there, Kat bumps into Liam, which is her stepbrother, whom she hasn't spoken to or seen in years. And she's gonna need Liam's help because one of the billionaire's relatives dies at the party. And so Kat and Liam have to figure out who murdered the relative. So if you're wanting some murder mysteries for your collection, pick up Such Charming Liars. But I hope you grab some of these books for your collection for 2024. And I'm going to type in, please check out NetGalley. Sign up for an account. It's free. You can create an account and you can get ARCs or advanced reader copies to read, and you can review them. And it's a great way to keep abreast of what's coming out in the publishing world. They have all kinds of books. They have adult fiction, adult nonfiction. You can break it down into certain categories like children's fiction, LGBTQ, teen horror, teen romance, graphic novels even. And you can have it downloaded to your Kindle or whatever format you choose. So definitely build an account, check on netgalley.com, and you'll have fun reading. Okay. Whew, that was a lot. We're going to move to graphic novels and manga. Okay, my first selection is Duck and Moose, the Duck and Moose series. I received an advanced readers copies of these books, and I love them. They were super fun. So the first title, Duck Moves In, it features Moose and Duck. Moose just wants to have a quiet life. He just wants peace and quiet. Moose loves living outdoors alone. And then Duck moves in. Duck is a new neighbor, and Duck shows up. And he moves in all right, but where he moves is not where you expect a duck to live. The duck makes his home in between the moose's antlers. And Moose is trying everything to get rid of this duck. He hides the duck in a cave. He puts duck on top of a mountain. And every time he tries to put duck in a different place, the duck comes back to his head every time. Super funny, super cute graphic novel. It's about three or four chapters, but very fun for kids. The second book is Moose Blasts Off. And in this title, Moose pretends to be an astronaut in a rocket ship. Moose loves to play. He loves to play and pretend. And Duck wants to play with him too. So Moose asks Duck to use their imagination to pretend. But Duck can only think of other ducks. Duck has never really pretended to be something else. And it's much to the dismay of Moose. Moose is just like, ugh, you can't think of anything to pretend and be. So Moose is trying to really help Duck use his imagination. But each story has 3 chapters, and the stories are silly and they're funny, they're quirky, and it's perfect for that 2nd to 3rd grade crowd. So definitely pick up the Duck and Moose series. And I put a series alert on here because Wings of Fire, Winter Turning, Book 7 in the graphic novel format is coming out next week. This is written by Twee T. Sutherland, and the art is by Mike Holmes. And in this edition of the series, Winter is looking for his sister, Icicle, and she's run away from the Jade Mountain Academy. And so Winter and his new clawmates, they have to enter the Ice Kingdom after escaping Queen Scarlet's vicious talons. And so he'll have to face the greatest threat of all, which is his own family. But if you have fans that prefer the graphic novel series versus the chapter books, you definitely want to get Wings of Fire into your cart. Again, this comes out next week. Now, time for what I'm reading. I have a lot of what I'm reading, but as you guys know, I do love horror. Horror is my jam. I have two books, two young adult books that I'm reading this month. The first one to your left is called Where He Can't Find You. This is by Darcy Coates. This received a starred review in the shelfawareness.com webpage. And for those of you that might know, Darcy Coates is well known in the adult horror realm, and now they are making their way into YA horror. This book is about Abby Ward. She lives in a small town in Illinois, and it's just haunted by disappearances. So people vanish, and when they're found, their bodies have been dismembered and sewn back together in unnatural ways. But when you're reading this, you're wondering, is this the work of a human killer or something more sinister? And the killer in this story is called the Stitcher. And there's like these really cool rhymes throughout the book. The cool thing also about this book is there's illustrations. So further into the book, you see images of teens just kind of walking in town, and then you hear the whisperings of the Stitcher, and then they're taken, and then they're brought back, and you're like, oh man, that's messed up. The illustrations really bring the story to life. Very creepy, just downright horror for teens. So definitely pick up Where He Can't Find You by Darcy Coates. To your right, the second book is called When Ghosts Call Us Home. This is written by Katya de Becerra, and this received star reviews in Kirkus and in Booklist. And this is about a girl named Sophia. Sophia was 12 when she starred in her older sister's amateur horror film. Layla had this movie called Vermilion, and Vermilion, the movie, amassed an army of fanatical fans. They speculated about the film's hidden messages and what it was rumored to be. And it was rumored that Layla made a pact for her soul in exchange for fame and knowledge. And Sophia's just totally like, no, I don't, that's just rumors. That's just gossip, until Layla disappeared. And so Sophia was in the movie. And so Sophia goes back to the home where the movie was filmed to find clues about how her sister disappeared. So she gets weird phone calls in the middle of the night from Layla. She is finding things that move around. It's just downright atmospherically creepy. This is a fast-paced, creepy paranormal novel. This book reminds me of the adult novel Night Film by, I believe it's Marisha Pessel, but images of the whole documentary feel, the creepy feeling of a movie within a movie type feeling. It's given me those vibes. Very creepy, very fun. If you get a chance, pick up these books. If you want to be scared, this will be your jam. And I have some giveaways. And I just wanted to say congratulations to the November winners: Trent Auer from Mitchellville Public Library, Cindy Ruff from Garnavillo Public Library, Laura Newby from Union Public Library, and Mallory Snow from Drake Community Library. So this month, I want to do 5 winners because it's Christmas. I don't know, it's just a fun time of year. So 5 winners from Check It Out today will receive a Check It Out prize book pack, and all packs will be sent via Iowa Shares. And let me see, I'm reading the comments. Dawn says, I love all the stuff going on the cover. It's very intriguing. Yes, the book is very, very intriguing indeed. And also, just so you know, we still have learning opportunities for summer 2024 for all your summer reading planning needs. January 9th from 1:30 to 2:30, I will be hosting a summer reading office hours event. So if you're having questions about the theme, or hey, I don't know who do I contact for a performer. Just come to the summer reading office hours. There's other youth librarians that are probably in the same boat that you could learn something from. Um, it's just 1 hour. It's not offered for CE credit. And whether if you're using the theme, the read, renew, repeat theme, or if you're using a different theme, everyone is welcome. So please make sure you come to the summer reading office hours. It's 1:30 to 2:30 on January 9th. And we'll have the Canva templates released January 22nd. The Adult Summer Library Program virtual training will be held January 30th from 10 a.m. to noon. The link will be coming soon, and Sam is working on getting those links. So once we have those up, you'll be able to register for the Adult Summer Library Program virtual training. And then February 1st will be a second just-in-time summer reading planning virtual training. If you missed the November one, don't worry, we'll have one February 1st from 9:30 to 11:30. And then we'll have the Summer Reading Summit in Ames, April 10th. And oh, I see a question from Lisa. Where can I find a whole list of books you introduced today? Don't worry, I have a whole, each list, I have the slides, so you'll have a copy of the slides and Iowa Learns, and there is a book list that I include with that, with the ISBN numbers and titles. So, and with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. Enjoy and just have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas.
Thank you, Janeé. I might have missed this, but I do also have the January Check It Out ready in Iowa Learns, and so you can
Yes.
register for that as well. We'll be back at it in the new year after a nice long break to read and catch up and review. So that should be a lot of fun, and we look forward to seeing everyone next time. And do register for all the summer stuff, all kinds of good stuff going on.
Oh, Amy says, is this on YouTube, the webinar Best Books of
It
2023?
should be really soon if it's not yet, Amy. So stay tuned. We should be posting it, I think, by the end of this week for sure. All right.
Wonderful.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.